So we got a phone call from a client. They were looking to rehabilitate a clay-lined pond that had long past its useful life. It had been used for the collection of what they call produced water from coal seams. When the water evaporates naturally, the sodium chloride is left behind in the floor of the pond. That sodium chloride therefore needs to be managed. So this pond had accumulated salt to a depth of about 500 millimetres, so half a metre. The challenge for us was, could we develop a process that meant we did not need to dig up all that material and remove it from site, and that we could utilise that material as part of the rebuild of the site and the rehabilitation of the site ultimately. Our team contains some pretty smart people, including soil scientists of some renown. So we went to the site and we did some extensive soil sampling. Then it's a matter of trying to match the conditions that you find naturally with the materials that are within both the dam embankments, the dam floor, and beneath the dam floor, to try and remanufacture a soil profile that then resembles more closely what you would find outside. So once we've completed all the chemistry and soil analysis, we developed a program with our earth movers of how to effectively take a 3-4 layer cake and invert the layers of that cake. To be efficient, we need to only move soil once. We don't want to push, stockpile, push back. We minimise earth moving equipment, minimise the time taken. So we developed a process using multiple excavators all following each other up and down the line of the pond floor, where each one took a very specific amount of soil from the floor to their depth, and then from that depth to the next depth, and so on. And then the materials that contain salt were processed together with some ameliorants and some other parts of the profile, and then replaced back in their rightful place. So what that meant was the floor level became around 4 to 5 metres below ground level. So well out of the zone of most grasses and the like, which was the environment that we were in. So we had remodified the salinity profile at that 4 to 5 metre depth, and then rebuilt the materials all the way to surface. Once Benaterra is finished with the site, not only can we demonstrate the chemistry of the soil profile that we've created, but nature will prove to everyone how productive that site is. And within 6 months, the site was 100% vegetated, and within a year had ticked all the boxes from a regulatory compliance point of view. So normally that process is a 3-year process of monitoring and the like, but the regulator was happy to sign that off with the client within a year. Being able to develop a process which left all the materials in situ, but in a place that could be managed from an environmental point of view, it meant that we saved the client an enormous amount of money. They had a happy landholder because we returned a very productive landscape to the landholder, who was using it for cattle grazing. So, and that continues today. So that project's been some years now completed, and it's still a very productive landscape that's been left behind.